There's an update tonight on the status of Sunrise Mall here in Corpus Christi, which is set to close in the coming months. And tonight, more tenants are being told to pack up and move out. Our Michelle Pedraza joins us live with the update from there. Michelle?
Well, Joe, right now we know that there are 6 parties interested in buying Sunrise Mall, one of them wanting to tear the whole thing down. And all tenants are being told to move out by the end of October, including Pretzel World, who's been at Sunrise Mall for over 20 years. We spoke to Dress for Success that serves women in over 12 counties. They actually just opened their doors here at the mall in March after their last location received damage from Hurricane Harvey.
Now having to move unexpectedly, it's just really caught us off guard. Funding this year post-Harvey is hard for everybody. Budgets are tight, grants are tight.
The organization just finished renovations to their boutique at Sunrise Mall, putting in new carpets, fixing dressing rooms, and investing in brand new computers for their career center. They are still looking for a new space that can hold their inventory as well as their office space. They will be having a moving sale from September 21st to the 23rd. Now, we did reach out to the mall's manager to ask them about this whole situation. However, they did not want to comment. We're now reporting live from Sunrise Mall. Michelle Pedraza, 3 News.
Okay, Michelle, thank you.